Well, tonight we have round two. Round one was lost forever due to technical difficulties. We are honored in Coach's Corner tonight to have one of the best young minds, the best young coaches in the Carolinas, quite frankly. I've been very impressed with this young man for a long time. He's the head coach of South Mecklenburg Sabres in Charlotte, North Carolina. He is Justin Clarke. Justin, thank you for joining us again tonight. How are you, sir?
I'm good. Thanks for having me again. I appreciate it. A big fan of what you do, Keith, and I'm just excited to be here.
We're excited to have you and whatnot. And one of the things we like to do a lot of times when we're talking to big time coaches is talk about predictions about what was going to happen. We're not going to tell the world about our predictions exactly how we thought
Right.
yesterday's championship game was going to go out. Let's just say we were all wrong. And congratulations to the Roseville High School
Absolutely.
Rams out in Roseville. They came back from about a 9-point deficit, played their
Yeah.
tails off. Did you get a chance to watch any of that game or anything like that, Justin?
Yeah. I mean, it was an unbelievable, lesson to any team to keep competing the whole game, and never be concerned with seedings, rankings, or the name on the other team's jersey. Roseville, like you said, nobody expected them to do what they did. And Coach Warren had those young ladies ready to play. It was an unbelievable, game, the comeback. And I just think it was a well-coached game by Coach Warren, and she deserves all her flowers. And yeah, she put Roseville on the map for sure for a while in the state of North Carolina.
Yes, she did. That was not just yesterday,
Right.
but like we talked about previously, the John Wall Classic,
Yeah.
that team did not look like they were going anywhere. And for her to coach
Right.
those girls up, keep them focused, keep them believing they could achieve
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
is a magnificent coaching job. So kudos to Coach
Yeah.
for doing that
Right.
and that good stuff. Kudos to
Yeah.
Roseville and all the state champions, including
Oh yeah.
Mecklenburg here in the
Yes.
Charlotte area. Isaiah Evans, 5-star recruit from Duke University, brought it
Yeah.
home for his team. So we had something to smile about here in Charlotte, at least.
For sure. And North Meg also, Coach Lewis, a great job. He also showed it's not just Isaiah, it's not just Slim. They have other pieces to the puzzle that help them not only, take that state championship, but throughout the year. And they did not lose to a North Carolina team all year. So they made it known that hey, we were the best on the men's side in 4A for sure.
Coach Lewis has runs the quintessential program.
Oh yeah.
Where
Yeah.
everybody knows the story about Isaiah playing JV as a ninth grader
Yeah.
and keeping the kid that caliber in the
Mhm.
program. It's just magnificent what he's built there,
Yeah.
and that's something that I don't have any doubt that you will be building someday at South Mecklenburg High School. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Justin, where you
Mhm.
got started, some of your background, and some of your big time coaching influences that led you to where you are today.
Yeah, for sure. My journey started at South Meck. It's my alma mater. So when I graduated, I played football and basketball there. When I graduated, I went to North Carolina Central University. I thought I'd be able to walk on the team. Injury, derailed my playing career in college. I tore my ACL, but Coach Dickerson, Henry Dickerson, who was the head coach of the men's basketball team at that time at Central, really, pulled me aside, took me under his wing, and said, "Hey, why don't you consider another perspective of the game?" And he taught me how to, the ins and outs of coaching while I was there. He taught me how to build a game plan and how to manage players' personalities, which was big. And obviously, I did the little stuff too, like I would go in and wash jerseys and stuff like that, prepare the court, do what I had to do just to stay around, but. Kind of had to humble myself a little bit going from player to actually, somebody learning to coach. But, that sparked a fire and an interest for me to be in coaching. And I took off from there. When I graduated, I came back to Charlotte. I did some camps for Steph and Seth Curry that they were doing here at that time. And then also, I got into coaching at the high school level at West Charlotte High School here in Charlotte. One of my family friends I've known for a long time, Reggie Mobley, took me in. He helped teach me a lot about the game especially at the high school level. It was way different than what I was dealing with college. And he just really showed me what to do and what not to do and at this level. And one of the biggest things he taught me was networking and connecting with people in my environment, in our space, and also how to connect with kids and prepare them for the season, how to prepare them for life after high school. So he gave me a wealth of knowledge. I was his JV coach for 1 year there, and then got my first head coaching opportunity at Garinger High School. My first year there was COVID year. It was a tough year, especially as a new head coach. You think you have a game plan, and then COVID hits and everything goes out the window. It was an uncharted territory for every coach, obviously. And then second year there, we hit the ground running. We were pretty competitive and got into the playoffs, first time in 20 years of Garinger women's basketball's history. And really broke some milestones at Garinger, which was big. And received a call from the great Christy Mitchell at South Meck. She was stepping down and retiring and looking for somebody to fill her shoes. And I got the call and interviewed and was, fortunate enough to get the job. And my first year there, we had a really good year, one of the best years in the program's history. Went undefeated in the conference, and went Sweet 16 with a really good group of kids. And, we just finished my second year with a really young group. We were able to make the playoffs. Have a lot. This group, I'm excited to get back to it with them and help build up into hopefully a really good season next year. So I'm looking forward to the future for South Meck Lady Sabres.
As you should. I saw firsthand, Justin. I've been a big fan for a while. As you know, you played Mallard Creek this year, and quite frankly, we were blowing teams out, blowing through everybody pretty much who we had played. Yeah. And you kept it close for 3 quarters, basically. And you had a young, talented team, but truth be told, you weren't playing with the full deck. It wasn't equal, and you kept your team in the game through switching up defenses and running some beautiful sets for Michaela. And I was just like, man, this dude is that dude. He can coach his'n and he can coach your'n and beat you with his and beat you with yours. And I was really impressed. And just noticing, you had us on your schedule at Mallard Creek. You had Charlotte Catholic. You had Marvin Ridge. You do not duck smoke. Is that part of your coaching philosophy as it relates to how you want to prepare your teams for big-time playoff runs?
Yeah. I mean, this year, was a little bit of both of, we didn't want to duck smoke. And I think at the same time, we had a combination of, losing certain players we thought we were going to have, and then also ineligibility for some players. And so our team didn't look how it did when I first made the schedule, but already I knew regardless, I wanted to make sure we played some really good teams, just to build our RPI, but also for the future, because I think going into this year, we've seen some of the best players. I mean, obviously, you just mentioned Mallard Creek. You guys started out, I believe preseason #1 coming out, and you guys were, just a really talented, not only your daughter, Lily, but you got the Stone sisters, Olivia, Robinson. I'm a big fan of all of those kids. And then having to play Charlotte Catholic, like you mentioned. And then not to mention the teams in our conference, Myers Park and RGKL had really good years as well. So, I think it just builds your players' mindset for the future that, hey, let's show that we can play with some of the best teams when we compete the full game. And so I think that was something that my young kids needed to see. So now going into the next season, they can't say they haven't seen, what it takes to really win at a high level and play really some of the best teams and compete against those best teams. So it's a phrase I use with my kids: learn to win, play to win, and expect to win. So, you got to learn, to win before you can play to win. You got to play to win before you expect to win. So, that's something that I hold them accountable to, for sure.
Absolutely. And I know in this day and age of transfer portal, AAU transfer portal, high school transfer portal, it's really hard to predict what's going to happen next week, not to mention next year. But tell us a little bit about what you're expecting your team to look like as it comes back next year. I know, obviously, Michaela, I believe, is a 25 and one of the better players in the area. I'm sure she'll be the focal point as the point guard. But what's your
Yeah.
team looking like for next year? And what are your expectations?
Yeah, I mean, I think we'll have most of our really good players are returning. You mentioned Michaela, who is a 20-point scorer. She just surpassed the 1,000-point milestone this year. She's an all-district selection, and she's one of the ones we rely on really not only to score for us, but just to set the tone each game, which she's more than capable of doing. So she's one of the players that we look to lead in so many different areas. I like Kyla Brown, KB. We call her KB. She's a young upcoming freshman. She was also on all-conference selection along with Michaela this year. Really good. She was one of the conference leaders in steals. Averaged almost 5 rebounds a game. But she's a really good on-ball defender and athlete. And I think her growth and development will be key for us, moving forward. Caitlin Hensley was a solid guard as well that we liked. That she really showed. She came up from JV last year, and she really showed that she can kind of stick with some of the best varsity players. And she just got to continue to compete and get better. But there's another one I'm really looking forward to. Our big Kathleen Miller, who I think her sister played, actually she's had 2 sisters that's come through the program.
I remember Deidre. Deidre and Lily played
Deirdre.
together at AAU ball, and Deidre was a fundamentally sound, solid big for South for years. I guess her little sister doesn't fall far from the tree, huh?
Not at all. And I mean, her mom thinks that she could be the best one yet. She has an older sister that plays as well, older than Deirdre, Evie Miller, and so she played at South as well. But Kathleen has an unbelievable ability to retain information. She's a high IQ player, but also her size and her skill set really complement some of the other players on the team. And so, her coming back and getting the varsity minutes that she got this past season will be key for us. We have some middle school kids that are come up that are playing AAU that are working, that'll come in, and we'll see what we have. I think we'll be poised to challenge for the conference next year. I hope so. So based off of what we have returning and the experiences from this past season, I think we'll be ready to roll.
I think you will be too, Coach. I'm gonna let you get out of here without giving you a chance to talk about the next stage in your basketball calendar, and that's with Team Curry. I know you've been a coach, and I think this year you're going to transition more into an administrative role with Team Curry. Talk a little bit about Ashley Robbins, Team Curry, and some of the great experiences you've had as far as dealing with that organization.
Yeah, I mean, I've been with them for 4 years now. Ashley Robbins does an excellent job with Team Curry. It's one thing to recruit players and try to win, but the things that she teaches young ladies, and how to grow up and be adults is something that I really learned from with her. She, like, for instance, when we're out on the road at a tournament, there's a certain way you look when you come out of your hotel room, and you're not just going to come out with, a whole bunch of stuff on your head and walking around like you just rolled out of bed. You're going to look presentable because you're representing your family first, and then you represent Team Curry. And so, like, she really helps young ladies kind of see, the bigger picture in their lives. And so that translates to the coaches. That translates obviously to, the parents, where they say, okay, we like this. But she's an excellent teacher of the game, excellent teacher with life skills. And so, she has been vital to, the success of Team Curry, especially on the girls' side. She's already got 3 McDonald's All-Americans in 4 years out of that program. Obviously with Malaysia for Wiley, Reagan Richardson, and Talasia Cooper. So those 3 have been vital in the program, and she's doing a great job. We just finished our second day of tryouts today, and just looking in the gym and seeing how far we've come. It's been awesome. So for me in my role this year, I've coached the middle school side, for Team Curry, last year I was a 16 and under coach. I've been 15 and under as well. This year I'm going to take more of an administrative role, as you mentioned, and I do more of the behind the scenes communication, emails, And then the beautiful part of it, I get to float a little bit and coach a certain team, as I go. So Ashley was, gave me that ability and autonomy to do that this summer. And then you got to have the work-life balance. That allows you to spend time with the family as well over the summer. So I'm very excited about the direction Team Curry's going in, and I look forward to the summers for sure.
Well, Team Curry's lucky to have you. South Mech is lucky to have you, and we've been lucky to have you tonight here at our Coach's Corner. At this time, we always allow you to basically make the floor your own. Talk a little bit about anybody you want to give a shout out to, any coaches peers, mentors who you just want to talk a little bit about, and then we'll let you get out of here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I mentioned Reggie Mobley. He was big at West Charlotte. He's always somebody I call and talk to. And Coach Mitchell. I mean, even just last week, I was, picking her brain on stuff at South. But there's been some others. I'm a big fan of KD at Mallard Creek. Coach Lauren Galvani at Indy, who has built that program for 9-10 years from basically a losing program to a program that challenges, every year and has good talent every year. And I just love some of the things she does as far as how she, challenges the minds of her kids. And then also, I mentioned Ashley, but on the boys' side, I talk to him pretty much every day. Armand Moore, I've learned a lot from him as well. He's been somebody that, he took a program that wasn't that competitive, and he's beaten teams like Lake Norman every year, and he went toe-to-toe with even our boys who had a good year this year. But Armand Moore, he really exemplifies what a coach should be. He goes full throttle, just like all those coaches do for their kids, and it's important. And then lastly, I mentioned Mackenzie Graham. She does an unbelievable job, and I picked her brain just last summer. I was talking about her defense and trying to see how I can incorporate it with my team as well. So all these, North Carolina's blessed with a lot of really good, talented young coaches, as you mentioned, and of course you, Keith. I appreciate the fact that you highlight that. That means a lot to us for sure.
Well, I thank you. You guys make it easy. I'm big fans of everybody you just mentioned there. Obviously, too. It's funny about Mackenzie. I was like, watching a couple of her games, the inbounds plays she runs, some of the inbound stuff she does to get her kids shots out of timeouts is incredible. But you know that, I know that. Justin, look, man, you are on your way to big things in this game. Like I said, I've been a fan for a while. We definitely want to have you here for round two. Round one got lost in the ether, but we hopefully the technical difficulties will not rear their ugly head. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you, and good luck this summer with Team Curry.
Thank you so much, Keith. I really appreciate it. It was an honor. It was a blast, and look forward to seeing more of these podcasts coming up. I'll be watching.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you.
This Coach's Corner segment is brought to you by Superior Pest Management. We're called Superior for a reason. Call us now, 704-644-8586.
This program is brought to you by the City of Fountains Coaches Association.